Can you hear yourself okay?
Yeah.
Check.
I can.
1, 2.
It's nice to be able to just move the mic over closer to you.
Right. Yeah, it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Get more space. It's like the fucking candle.
Oh.
Yeah, those last ones in my room were a little cramped.
Yeah.
But we made it work.
I mean, even like over there, I feel like this is the most space I've seen designated,
Right.
to it.
Now that Cole's gone.
It's kind of nice. We'll just having, not that, but like just having the kind of designated space.
Right. It is kind of
Yeah.
taking up Cole's old spot.
Where his office was. Yeah.
His desk was like right
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
We're not sitting over there. But
Yeah, you can sit on the couch and watch Cole work.
Right. Dude, yeah, it was fun kind of rearranging this stuff, getting this stuff set up, but
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I feel like always moving into different places, moving like into different areas, you're going to get a little bit of a different vibe,
Mm-hmm.
you know, even just if you're changing like a room
Mm-hmm.
or something simple, or you're like putting a desk somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
like it's gonna, I don't know, you always got to think about where you're gonna put stuff, especially when you're dealing with wires, cords, outlets. You need to take note of like outlets in terms of, how long your cords are to hook up to your equipment, all that bullshit. All the stuff that you don't really necessarily like think about.
Pretty dumb.
But then when you're doing it, you're like, oh yeah, I should probably think about that again.
Right. Like, we should just have wireless energy at this point. Come on.
That would be sick.
Why not? Well, we could. Why not?
I mean, batteries,
Right. But like
but
everything.
you have to replace them. Right.
Yeah.
Save the lighter there. Yeah, I mean, batteries, it's wireless.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
Not everything is battery powered, though.
tapping into energy that's already moving around in the air and like harnessing it.
Yeah.
Just like funneling it into whatever
Mhm.
device you need, just like by tapping into like a field of energy would be ideal.
Like a grid of like, or like,
Not like a grid. You don't want any physical things. You want something sending out the energy or the energy that already exists, just being harnessed.
right.
Because I'm pretty sure there's just electrical energy floating around it, like electromagnetic energy, magnetism.
Just everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You can just like
From like the sun.
if you can just like capture it,
Yeah.
isolate it, and put it and like adapt it.
I mean, it's
to
kind of
whatever
like
your
solar
devices
power,
are.
right? Like what you're
Um,
saying. Because like the sun, when the
kind of.
sun shines, that's producing like, I forget the
Right.
the whatever the scientific term is for the spectrum, but
Mhm.
it's just the spectrum of light that,
I almost
gets
wonder
turned
though,
into
like,
energy. But it's kind of like, it's hard.
If
I know
there's
it's
a hub.
hard to like do solar.
Mhm.
Like it takes kind of like a lot of investment and
I think it's because
storage.
you don't get a lot of actual like energy. You need a lot of surface area to actually get a substantial amount of energy,
yeah.
And so with more surface area, you get more energy, a more reasonable amount, but it costs a lot more to get more surface area, and you need the actual surface area to put it on,
Right.
I'm thinking
Right.
more like,
That's why California and like the West Coast is filled with like solar. I know.
right.
Like there's
they
a lot
just
more.
get a lot of sun.
There's a lot more solar over there.
They definitely get more direct sunlight too.
Mhm.
So it's like,
And it's not really rainy that much,
you know what I'm saying?
at least in the summer.
Yeah, it doesn't really rain ever. There's very little precipitation in that state, at least in the
Mhm.
southern part, that whole area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting to think what like the evolution of our energy consumption and like the ways that we harness it, like those forms of technology. It's going to be interesting to see how those kind of evolve over time in like our lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
because I would say a lot of things are right now are like at the cusp of kind of being, what's the word, like mass adopted. Like we have all of these kind of, I feel like humans have figured out a lot of like crazy high level technology for harnessing energy, like very efficient, and just like, just our level of harnessing of energy right now is pretty insane with like some forms of technology, pretty unique forms. But I think the trouble that we've kind of run into is like being able to implement it on like a large scale, having it be like reasonably priced, and being able to like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I mean,
we just haven't hit that like inflection point yet, but I think we're like pretty close,
one of the things they were saying in the documentary I watched today was about how it like it's great that we've gotten to where we're at now with the way that we have consumed energy through like uses of fossil fuels, etc. But like, if we don't use that as like a way to positively affect where we're going, we'll lose it because we've like abused it, But like, we need it to make it to the next step.
Right.
So it's like, don't make it a villain. Realize that like it's been beneficial, but we need to take the step forward or we will lose it. And then we won't be able to use it as a possible advantage into getting to that next step. You kind of go backwards in like you got to get back to it somehow.
Like, are you talking like about the like fusion or like nuclear?
Yeah, but yeah.
And just like how it's like, I don't know. I know there's a lot of pushback with those types of
right.
Types of like I don't know, those fields of science, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess it was saying, you got to think like there's an opportunity. Like we can't. No, I just
we
feel
can't
like,
ignore it.
I
we
feel
can't
like
ignore it.
A lot of people are just like the fact that we use fossil fuels is so bad. We need to change, and then they don't think about like the way that the use of fossil fuels has gotten us to where we're at, which has given us the benefit to make the decision to realize that it is in need of a change. So it's like, it's not really bad. You just need to now figure out how to make it work.
And a lot of the
use
world,
it to your advantage.
Yeah, a lot of the world still uses fossil fuels as like, their main, main form of energy comes from fossil fuels. A lot of the world still, so you can't just abandon it at like the drop of a hat. It's something that has to take hold over society over like decades, Yeah. Hopefully we can get there. And
just a gut feeling to me tells me that like our universe kind of runs on an electromagnetic like force.
Right.
That like is actively like vibrating and moving and resonating through everything. And like being able to understand that, I think, is going to unlock some of the things we need to figure out for like renewable energy.
Because there are so many unknowns about space and the universe and how it all came to be, and just like what what all of just observing the visible universe like is taking all that in. Is absolutely like perplexing to any human, and like just thinking, it's I totally agree. Like when you think about it, like there's definitely some way in which the universe like
it moves, it lives,
and it acts through.
There's an energy that just
like everything,
I think it's a lot. I feel like magnetism, like forces between the parts of an atom are pretty like powerful. They seem to run everything. But like, what makes them run? Why does it run that way? What's causing it to do that? That's the question of like, with no answer.
Right.
Like there's all these theories.
Like,
and
what's the
stuff.
reasoning behind it? You're saying like why are just like why are they there? Type of thing. Yeah.
We can observe what it is, but we don't know why it is.
And everything's made out of it.
You know,
Like, I like that
Even
part of that
nothing.
kind of like documentary where they're talking about how like when you observe these electrons
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, it's like you're observing it, but it's not actually there. They were talking about how when you like look at the particle,
Mm-hmm.
it's popping in and out of like whatever this reality is. And
Existence,
so like
right.
when you observe it, it's just at the same time, it's just kind of gone, so there's nothing to
Mm-hmm.
like record or like data to make of it. It's kind of like an it almost sounded like an anomaly, and they described, I know they had some explanation for what was going on
Yeah.
in terms of like what like those top scientists could make of it.
Yeah. One of the good analogies is like they did with, if you had a 10 megabyte photograph of this cup, right? But like you took the picture as I was sliding the cup,
Mm-hmm.
it would get you a still image of the cup.
Right.
It would be pretty sharp. You could zoom in on it. But if you slid the cup again at the same time, taking a video, and the video was the same 10 megabytes,
Right.
and you went to the frame of where the cup was in the same part of the video and zoomed in, it would be extremely blurry and fuzzy.
Pixelated.
And it's because when you're trying to observe something in motion, it like you can tell its direction, but not definition of what it is or what it's doing.
Or where it is.
You just can tell that it's moving in a direction.
Right.
When you're looking for, is it moving in a direction? Video.
Because you're just taking a snapshot of
if you
something
take
in
a still
motion.
shot, you're able to observe it, but you have no clue of what direction it's moving because it's just a still image. So there's really no reference as to any directional movement of the object in the frame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
So you can't
it's really weird.
You can't know an electron's position exactly and where it's moving at the same time. You can look at both separately, but that doesn't. There's like the gap.
And
that's
like
inconclusive.
but
It's
like we
weird.
know it's there too, like it's provably there because in whatever chamber they were doing those experiments in, like the super high res fucking camera they must have, like it's we can see it, we can observe it, so it's there.
I saw this thing. It was funny today on Instagram. It was like just like a science meme.
Mm-hmm.
And it said something like how fast things were moving today or whatever. And it was like Earth 600 kilometers or something. And then it had like the solar system moving like 4,000 whatever. And then the Milky Way moving like 6,000 whatever distances, kind of
light years
showing
per
that like
second.
that the galaxy's moving vast distances. But it made me think about like the relativity of that, where if we're in the Milky Way and it's moving 6,000 whatever in a day, we're also moving 6,000 with it. But why and how is our distance observation for our own planet then such a low number? It's like, would you not account for the fact that you're also moving then with the galaxy you're in? It's not just leaving you behind. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of.
Like if you're in a car,
Yeah.
if you're driving in a car and you move 10 feet,
right,
and the car also moves 10 feet,
right,
and the thing that say your car's parked in a bus and the bus is also moving 10 feet, so it's all the same.
yeah, it's relative.
So for them to say that the Earth moved this short distance in a day, but the Milky Way moved this vast distance in a day, doesn't add up to me. Because if we're with it, moving with it, how could it move further than us
think because it's bigger.
Like we would move the exact same distance. It just appears to us, based from our perspective, that we moved a short distance because we can't tell that massive distance, everything around us that's close to us moved with the big one.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Kinda,
weird.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like, I think also probably maybe because it's like mass has something to do with it. Like a galaxy is just like so massive.
Mm-hmm.
And then compared to like our solar system. So that's got to have something to do with it, where it's just moving through so much space at such a large scale, when we're observing it from our solar system. Like, I don't know how the fuck they must calculate how fast it's actually moving, but
So this one dude,
it seems like that might have something to do with it. But yeah, I think it's all relative. I mean,
I don't know.
it
is.
just
It's what we like. It's what's around us.
right.
That's
and
weird.
if you try and take all of that into account in your day-to-day life, like you're not going to get anything done.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
But it is interesting to think about. Like, I have thought about that sometimes, just kind of hanging around, like looking up at the sky, just thinking like, man,
Right here looking up at your stuff.
our Earth is just like spinning so fast right now, and
That looks
you're
like
just kind of like
how
hanging on.
people represent like plasma.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting, like, plasma. It's like heated. It's like a super heated element. It's plasma.
Right. Isn't it weird we have plasma in us?
Yeah, is that
You
the
can
same?
donate
is that
plasma.
the same? I don't think that's the same plasma.
I know.
I always
don't-
wondered.
No, I don't think.
I don't think it is.
I think it's just.
could be.
I've never donated plasma, but I've had a lot of friends who have. Have you?
I donated plasma,
Yeah.
for a while.
What does it look like?
It's like, it kind of looks like pee, sort of.
Yeah, I know it's like kind of like a
gold,
weird
like,
color.
It depends. Everybody has different plasma. That's what's weird. Like, some people have like creamy looking plasma. Some people have somewhat more clear looking plasma. It's kind of weird thinking about it, but it's not like that big of a deal. Your body just runs it back.
Right.
Like,
Pumps it back through.
if anything, in my opinion, it's kind of good for your body because it just like gets that reproduction like a good, like a workout almost. It's not like
I
stagnant.
can see that. Just rejuicing, getting some new plasma up in there.
Yeah, I mean,
Flowing around.
I wouldn't do it for like super long, like 10 years or more. That's like sometimes that could be excessive, but did it for like 2.
You think? Do they not
3.
recommend that?
I have no idea. It's just I didn't
Yeah.
do it. I just felt like no, like that's not something I want to do a long time.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
it was fine to do it. It felt good.
it's not something. I mean,
I know a lot
don't-
of people are benefiting from it too. I
Right,
feel like.
right. It's definitely a good thing to do.
Yeah, the people who need it. It's
Getting poked with needles though, fuck that.
it's not that bad.
I mean, it's not that bad, but
Yeah.
still, it's just kind of
It
uncomfortable.
can be weird watching it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Try not to watch it. Just
Yeah.
kind of like let it happen. But it doesn't like hurt. It's just like that you can feel a needle in your body.
Yeah.
When I had my appendix ruptured in high school,
Mm-hmm.
I had to stay in the hospital for like 2 weeks, and they ran out of places to put IVs. I had like 21 different IVs. They had gone into like arms, both arms, like back of hands.
Wait, and
like
they're
feet,
just like the IV bags with like
I
the
think
drip.
legs.
They just like
Yeah.
drip nutrients into you and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like medicine and stuff because
you
I had
21 of those things going into you.
no, like you would run on one and then like eventually that vein becomes like exhausted, so you have to switch. You can't just keep one IV if you're in for a long time. And
So
I
they
had
poked you up like 20
dude,
times.
I had like poison and shit in my body, from like the appendix rupturing.
Oh,
It was like killing me essentially from the inside. So they had to like give me a bunch of shit and clean me out and keep me out.
Were you passed out the whole time?
No, I would like wake up and be laying in bed for days. I lost a bunch of weight and got really fatigued. Like,
Yeah.
just had to. Rehab was good. But the needles thing was weird. Yeah, I think
That sounds.
I remember
yeah,
the
that
last.
sounds extremely like
Got to the point they were gonna put
stressful.
They were gonna put one in the back of my knee, and I was like, and thankfully it was close. I was leaving, so
Oh
they never
my
had to,
god. Back of your knee.
but yeah, it was like the next vein that was.
I would have been
available.
like, yo,
After like
just make
12
me
days
pass
or
out.
13 days or whatever.
Like, come on, bro. Oh dear lord.
It was weird, dude. It was a
Ugh, my body's like kind of tingling right now thinking about that.
personal information. I think it was like a week and I don't know how long it was.
I just can't imagine. I don't know. That would give me anxiety just knowing like, oh god, I'm gonna have to get another drip
The weirder,
in like a day. You know, I'm gonna have to get poked out. Just knowing like, all right, I'm gonna have to every morning for like
had to have
a week and a half.
I had to have a catheter in for like 2 or 3 days at the same thing, same time. It was just like big, like it sucked. It was horrible. It's like in the hospital, it was bad.
It hurts super bad, right?
Yeah, no, you don't really know it's in there because you
Oh.
wake up from surgery and it's in
You're
there.
just like,
But when they pull it out, you feel it come out like from deep, and you're like, it's all in your body.
God.
It just pulls out, and you just feel like a tube pull out of your body.
right. Oh.
I had to have that same experience, the one that goes down your nose and into your stomach.
Really?
Yeah, and dude, that one's horrible. That's the worst one because you're wide awake, alert, and you're getting like a tube strung down back of your throat. It feels like you need to gag and throw up, right? And I feel it like go down into your stomach. And then when they pull that out,
Is that for
it's fucking
food?
gross. No, I think it's to like
Breathe.
get food out. What was it even for? Acid and reflux, maybe?
Yeah, it's for something.
I don't know. Food out. It's not like they put it in.
They put it all the way down in your stomach.
I think it was something.
Yeah.
Because you're like, when you go through that kind of stuff.
Heavy
Especially in
surgery.
that area, like with the whole appendix thing, it's like
Your appendix ruptured.
you're,
Yeah.
You don't shit for a while because your like whole system down there gets fucked up. And I think then if you're eating food or sustaining a bunch of liquid, maybe your stomach fills up, but it has nowhere to go because your bowel movements don't like want to cooperate. And so I think maybe that was what the nose thing was for. I forget, dude. It was kind of all blur because it was just like the weirdest thing. You're gonna like.
That's crazy, bro. Your appendix doesn't do anything, does it?
Not that I know of. I think my brother got his. Most people you just go in and get it out, and you're like back in a day or two. Because
yeah, it doesn't.
I think our body's like evolved to have no need for it anymore or something.
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
But
if it ruptures, it can kill you in like 24 hours.
wow.
Yeah, it can fucking. It's bad.
So how did
if
that?
it's not treated? You have to be like very aware of it.
Yeah. How did it happen to you?
Huh?
How did it happen to you?
I just felt really sick one night, and I think I threw up a couple times.
It was just random.
No, I don't even know if I threw up. And then just like the next day, I was like really ill. I did not want to go to school. And I think my dad was like, "I'll just stay here. You can lay on the couch." I was laying on the couch in the living room. I think my mom was like, "Oh, he's just constipated, being a wimp." And like, anyway, that's kind of the running joke now.
Right.
With my family, because it's like my mom thought I was constipated all this time. My dad finally, like at noon or whatever, took me into the urgent care and was like, "I think something's wrong with him." Like, and they were like, "We're gonna run some tests." Anyway, they said we think he might have appendicitis, so they sent me to the hospital. And I then got some tests run or whatever.
Damn.
And they were like,
So it
"Yeah,
was just
he needs to go."
Completely random event.
Like he has appendicitis. He needs to go into surgery, and they put me in a room because there weren't any available what do you call it, surgeons at the time, they had told us. And so I was in a room that night, and about midnight probably I felt like someone woke me up out of my sleep, felt like someone punched me in the gut really hard, and I was like, it had popped, and I was like, I called the nurse. I didn't even know it had happened.
Popped.
Right. I was like, something hurts.
Damn.
And then they were like, "Oh shit!" And so they rushed me into the surgery, got all that shit done, and so then from that it was like, so
yeah,
it was weird.
It was just a trip after that, pretty much.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's so fast.
I think that was the first time I had been putting under with anesthesia.
Yeah.
And the second time was with the ACL surgery, and it was It was wild. It was just a weird experience.
Yeah,
The whole
that's crazy.
time.
I'm just surprised that it like just popped up suddenly out of kind of like nowhere.
Yeah, it was like a day.
That's
You
wild.
have like a day. For me, it was like I had like a day to understand or feel like sick, and then get to the hospital, and like it happened. And thank God I was at the hospital when it did. You know,
Damn, you puked a couple times. And you're fucking. And
just
your
felt
side
like
hurt. Yeah,
it's just
That's
weird.
scary.
It feels weird. It's
That's
not.
scary, bro.
It's a feeling that's not like. It's very unique. It's not like this isn't like a stomach ache. It's sharp.
right.
It's like sharp, but also achy and like a grind outer area. But it's mostly like it'll be like hits a sharp, and then that's kind of how I remember it from a long time ago. But I don't know. It's something to be
Dude, that's
afraid
wild.
of, because
Yeah.
most people it never happens. Like, and that's why they
It's pretty
don't.
rare.
That's why they don't
Yeah.
just take them out of everybody, because they are pointless. But it'd just be kind of also pointless to just take them out of everybody, because a lot
Right.
of people don't
It's
have
kind of a
any problem
risk
with it.
to even like go through a procedure like
Right.
that. Risk. It's always a risk
Mhm.
going through a procedure like that. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, it's always kind of tweaky how like any moment. Something. So you never really. I don't know. Any moment something could go wrong.
Mhm.
We're all mortal. We're all just animals. Got blood, muscle
Mhm.
running through our veins.
Right.
Or muscle, or blood running through our veins.
We have muscle running through our veins.
Blood running through our veins, and we got muscle, just like animals. That's my point.
I like the idea of muscles running through veins. Be like
Probably wouldn't work.
a big stringy.
Just write it up.
Yeah, I mean, I say there's like thousands of miles. You can wrap your veins around the planet like 5 times or something crazy. It's so like long, and then that'd be
like
a lot
just
of
tiny intestines.
You could probably thin out the muscle mass and fit it inside them. You'd be like a vein creature instead of within your veins would be muscles.
That sounds like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Vein creatures versus muscle man. Starring Jack Black.
Yeah, you think Jack Black would be a good actor for that?
Yeah, kind of like Nacho Libre.
Yeah.
It'd be like one of those movies.
Just not serious.
Mm-hmm.
Just some weird zombie stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's I don't know. I think about kind of our mortality a lot, and just the fact that I don't know, as you get older and you see stuff happen to to other people, mutual friends maybe, and like I don't know, older people and your family members and stuff like that, you kind of just realize as you go on, you're just like, all right, well, I'm gonna do the best I can to like take care of myself and like be safe, and just keep pushing forward, and to like keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Like literally, I don't know. I was seeing like every once in a while, like this past weekend, I was seeing on Twitter like this famous like football recruit that was going to play in the NFL. Like got hit by a car.
Yeah, my brother was telling me about that.
Or something like that. And
Yeah.
it's just like, you see that stuff, and it's just like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Shit happened.
life just goes just like that, out like a light. It's just done.
Yeah.
And it's just sad, yeah.
It's hard.
It's hard. Life's hard.
Yeah.
But, yeah, at the end of the day, you just gotta
Yeah. For anybody
pay your homage and just keep going.
For anybody wondering, I'm just really bummed out today because I feel like last night was a traumatic event for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my cat
You
Carmen.
want to talk about that?
Yeah, she I think she had a seizure, and it was just a really terrifying experience to be in, where you feel so vulnerable because there's nothing you can do to help the person or the thing you love, the animal, the creature, the soul you love. It's like in there,
Right.
and you see the pain. It's just like so hard, and it just kind of fucks you up a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's just been like, it's hard to
It was
deal
scary,
with that.
bro.
And you
It was
just
scary.
have to get over it. Like, you have to, and I'm gonna just get over it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need to, I don't know, it's weird, but it's put me off all day. Like,
It's life.
I need to just move like forward, and
Yeah, I mean, it happens to everything,
yeah,
you know?
recognize it and just be like,
Yep.
supportive.
Someday it'll happen to Luna.
Yeah,
Someday
it
it'll
happens to
happen to
everybody.
Tessa's kid.
Yeah.
Someday it'll happen to everybody's pet.
Right.
And then it's just like, I don't know. It's definitely hard. Like
Yeah.
when my family dog passed, it was just like, oh my God. And I was like away. Hadn't seen her in a while. And it's just like, damn, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That was heavy.
It's
always heavy.
It was really hard for me when Jack passed too, and I kind of get the same feeling that I've been in now. And it's just kind of a mindset that, I don't know, I try to just let it be. Usually when I have emotions, I tend to let them, like, especially sad emotions, I tend to let them stew to, like, give them release and not, like, force them aside and bury them immediately. And I think that helps me, like
you stew as in, like, you kind of just
observe
them.
No, I stew. Yeah, I stew like you would a stew on the stove. Like you just let it slow boil, roll. Like you just let those feelings and like not consume you, but like you let them live and breathe them out. Helps me move through the traumatic things like that a little bit faster, and like that pertains to a lot of different things in life, but this kind of thing particularly, I think it, like, I always had this thing where, like, if you're sad about something and you're with yourself or you're in a place that you're comfortable, like, and you just need to cry, like, cry. Like, don't hate yourself, but, like, just cry and love it. Love the way it makes you feel, releasing that, like, feeling that you have. Helps you move through, like, moves through things in a healthier way, in a faster way. And it's like, that's okay.
I think that's important.
You just have to be, like, aware of it so that you know you have control of it. And that kind of helps it not consume you, you know?
Yeah, I think that's super important.
It's kind of a long way to put it, but
no. I mean, I think that I love that. I mean, I think that was super. Yeah, I think that was super important because, that I have such a huge problem with just kind of like letting myself just fuss over those kind of thoughts, where it's like hard to. I don't know. It's hard to put them out of the mind, where it almost becomes like in an induction of itself, where it's just self-perpetuating. You know, at times when I'm going through like a rough patch or like thinking about those heavy things for a minute, like when I'm in those when I'm in those like sort of slow, just like hampered down flows. It's just for me it's hard to like separate it and just like let it be or like stew it like you said. So I think it's important. I think that like type of thing is very, very critical because as a human, like there's no way to escape it in life. Like it's always gonna those types of mind states are always gonna creep in. It's impossible.
I think that they have value just as much as happiness mindsets. You know, it's like feeling that way is something that is important. You know, it's like what gives you a good variation in like your life experience that
can't just be happy all the
time. No, you'd get bored, which is weird, but that's just sort of like you can, but then you might fight sadness, and it's like I think embracing both is the key to being truly happy. Like not being afraid of either, but loving and embracing both. to an extent, and understanding the power that each holds is like a good way to truly find happiness, because you don't let negative things affect you the way that you thought they would prior to, finding control over them. It's kind of a personal choice to do it, but
I mean, I think that's almost like
it's
a
hard.
yeah, no, I think that's almost like a meditation of sorts,
Kind of, yeah. Mental.
It because
is.
and I think that almost happens in the subconscious as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that like
Yeah.
it's something that almost like I feel like some people are naturally pretty attuned to it, to like to dealing it with it in that way that you just described there.
Yeah.
Whereas others, you almost have to practice it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right. And you have to become actually like in like tune with those emotions.
I think that the best thing someone could do for themselves in that regard is, if they want to practice like the notion of being more present in their daily life, would be to take the time to intentionally recognize your own presence within reality around, and how you're like being in a space with others and with the inanimate world around you as well. And like by looking at yourself intently more often, you'll realize how to do it subconsciously like faster, so that when you are in a situation and you would perceive like your presence in that part of the world, that space and reality, like your subconscious will be more aware of it. And It's not like you can like I don't know if there's a way to train the subconscious other than like training your conscious and then making that like repetitive nature train your subconscious, you know what I'm saying? So then eventually you become more,
it just becomes a way of
life, you start to feel like, wow, this is making an impact because you've repeatedly done it and you were aware at the time, but then you start fading that off, and it just, I don't know, that's kind of how I've thought.
It's just like it's like lifting weights.
Yeah.
it's repetitive motion, repetitive thought.
And just like a lot of weightlifters could agree, like it's not something that needs to be like a hard thing. Like a lot of people enjoy lifting weights because they think it's fun. They love the way it feels.
Right.
Like it's the way you approach the training mentally that kind of dictates how it goes. So just like lifting weights, it could be something that you don't look forward to during your week, or for a lot of people it's something that they do look forward to because it gives them a sense of enjoyment, and it gets them going and it excites them.
Right.
And if you can find that like switch in your head to focus on that specific thing, it can be extremely beneficial.
Yeah, it's just about flipping that switch, like just turning that a little bit,
realizing that you're in control.
Right. Taking that a little bit of a different step in the perspective, Yeah. Just like having, I think that's important, just with that being like, being able to accept like what you're feeling and just embrace it in its entirety, and having like an open mind about it to learn. Because like you said, I mean, it's just part of life, and there's reasons for all the sad moments that fucking happen in life too. It's
important to
bittersweet. It's bittersweet stuff.
It's important to be aware of yourself and be like at a good relationship with your own mental self. And it's like I'm kind of looking at it as a relationship between two people. Like,
I feel that.
it's
I feel
like
that. It's your inner self.
no, there's
It's your
like
inner self.
Yeah.
Everyone has that inner consciousness.
right, and it's
Where
like you need to
kind of constantly have it going.
yeah, you shouldn't find a way to love it, and it's you, like you, so you can love it, you will love it. It's just like how do you get to that?
Right.
And I guess everyone's different. There's no one answer. There's absolutely no one answer.
I think finding peace within yourself is. That's a journey.
Everyone's journey. Yeah,
it's a journey.
Experience. It takes that.
Right, and
whatever it is, I don't. It could be different. Yeah, it is different experiences. It's like.
And maybe you never reach it in its full extent, like within your lifetime, because maybe it's just because I think like we all have like ideas of inner peace and what it means, like maybe what it like we have descriptions of what it could feel like or descriptions of what it could look like or something like that, but like. Yeah, it's one of those things that's kind of undescribable.
Yeah. Vince Lombardi said something once. What did he say? Something about like perfection. It was like perfection is impossible. Perfection doesn't exist or something like that. And then he said it's like only the pursuit of excellence that like guides us or something deep and profound. It's like,
yeah.
I wish I had that actual quote, but it was kind of interesting about that.
It's about taking that journey to actually pursue
like greatness,
right?
Or
to pursue
just like
anything
within your the thing that you care about.
It's within the pursuit that you find the answer, right? Because it's something that it might never end.
What? I don't think it will. No, we're never gonna like. I hope I never stop having conversations with myself. You know what I'm saying?
Like trying to figure it out within yourself.
Yeah, like no, just think like. A lot of people, I think, sometimes feel alone. And trust me, I have been there and I have felt so alone.
Same.
Yeah, we all have. But there's a point where you realize that you're never really alone because you always have, like, that other self within that we all have there with you to use your thoughts to just unlock a world of non-solitude. I feel like there was electrical impulses going on in this like gelatinous mass that was our brain to begin with. And it was like running, reacting to things around it, and then like at one point, and maybe it happens sooner, but this happens throughout the stages of like evolution. But our brain at one point was like, boom, consciousness woke up, and then all of a sudden everything that like our body was still existed, but now we were able to like have this other like awareness, the senses of our eyes,
and explain it and
like,
name it.
Our ear, like these like.
We named our body parts. We named our brain.
So you're
brain named itself.
You're never alone when you have your own thoughts. I mean, you can create stories within your mind and have conversations with 15 people. You can pretend to be fucking Barbie and, I don't know, the Chef Boyardee guy on a can of soup and have them racing Grand Prix cars and being like, oh, yo, Chef Boyardee. And the Barbie's like, hey, get out of my fast lane. And, and they're like, racing, and it's Kart? Like, damn, I'm not alone. I have all of these thoughts, And it doesn't. That's just a random. I was just an example of just the extent of how ridiculous your thoughts don't need to be pronounced and profound. Like you can not feel alone because you have yourself.
The imagination is a curious thing.
Wow, it's a beautiful thing.
It's kind of it's weird
Yeah.
how ideas just kind of pop in and out.
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
it's
It makes sense in my opinion.
yeah.
Think
Yeah.
about the fundamental reaction an atom that became a like single cell organism felt like. Imagine the initial response it needed to have to the pressure of the world around it on it would be like, what is it? You know, like.
Well, an earlier form of humans seemed more instinctual, you know,
Yeah.
more reactionary to its
Right.
environment because
We needed to know.
It all depended on the survival.
We've always needed to know.
Right. And now it's cool because, I mean, now we look at, farther out. And we looked at the extension of our lives and the extension of our species and what it means to protect humanity and to be sure that as we progress throughout this incredibly complex and massive universe that we don't mess things up.
Yeah.
And it's been
it's
been a rough ride coming to this point. It's it's
Look at what we did.
every step of the way. It's dangerous.
Look at
Every step of the way, you got to make sure we're good. We gotta. It's hard too because we see a world that's run by very few people. And
it's not run by anybody.
well, I'm talking about governmentally.
I know.
And
But you know what I'm saying? Like, think about this. If you're here from this perspective, who is running that?
Well, can I finish my thought though?
Mm-hmm.
So it's run by few people. But what I was saying was, there's so many intelligent minds on this planet, and it's quite obvious that the majority of people want to explore the opportunities that of space and of
Humans. Yeah.
of just like the highest
Our
space and just like renewable technology and ways of conserving what we have here on Earth and figuring out how to basically just preserve our lives.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think that gives me a lot of hope for just the future of our species. Is just that the fact that consciousness has come this far, and it's basically it's given us just an abundance of amazing resources to pull from to really make life as great as you can make it.
What if I have a strange theory?
What's that?
Like the people, like why do I never really understand why like we're so stoked to get off of our planet. Like everything that is our planet, we are a part of it. Like we need it. The fundamental building blocks of our bodies are designed so fine-tuned and particularly like specific to living on this earth.
You know why though?
That's that we are built from it.
I'll tell you why, Jake.
Why?
Because the great minds of the world know that in 500 million years, all of the oceans on our beautiful Earth will be completely evaporated because the sun is going to keep expanding and it's eventually going to kill our beautiful planet.
Yeah. Right.
And we know as a conscious being that we can't stay here. If we do want to make it for the long run, we need to become an interplanetary species to survive.
I suppose. I suppose, but
the sun is a moving,
growing
thing.
We're I mean, we're like, we don't know what's out there. We don't know what's out there.
Well, best believe we're going to find out.
We have no idea what's out there. Like,
humans always want to explore.
I'm fine with it, but I think we should just like really button down what it is that's like going to protect our Earth now.
Yeah, right now we need to. And I think,
like,
for the foreseeable future in our lifetimes and our grandchildren's lifetimes and all of their grandchildren's lifetimes, the Earth definitely needs to stick around. That's for sure.
Like, instead we spend billions of dollars on how should we trick these people into buying our candle, like, fucking shoe rack holders, you know, or whatever bullshit merchandise thing you're trying to sell. It's like, no. Like, what? No. Fucking bullshit. Money. Like, it's
I
dumb.
thought we were talking about space.
We are, yeah, but I'm saying, like, let's fix our shit on our planet and start, like, if we're gonna do the money thing, let's stop spending money on dumb shit that we can give each other for free and spend our money on dope, cool shit that, like, actually gives us innovative futures. And, like, you
don't want to be an interplanetary species?
No, I do, but, like, we could spend our money that, like, okay, fucking toys. I don't know. Toys are what? Give me an example of a toy. Just any toy.
A toy?
Something
a fire
silly.
Truck.
A fire truck.
Yes.
But that's that. We don't want to take away from the hearts of all the childs that had fire trucks.
A ping pong table.
A ping pong table.
What,
sure.
Okay.
Okay. So
what's your thing?
So think about it. Instead of spending money on making ping pong tables, or even instead of spending money on marketing ping pong tables, like, let's have ping pong tables still exist, but just no more commercials for them ever.
Okay.
That's a lot of money that could be spent on, like, putting in some sort of infrastructure for a green future. And so
it's already there.
No, it's being spent on fucking advertising to sell products.
You don't think there's an entire industry that solely focuses on renewable resources?
Yeah, and I'm saying they could have a lot more money.
For sure. They could use more money, but it doesn't work like that.
Right, and I think we're wasting money on a bunch of dumb stuff.
I mean, people can spend their money whichever way they want to.
And that's where I think money's the problem. I wish money wasn't a thing.
No, Jake. People make decisions. People just make decisions that what they want to make. If you want to go out and buy a ping pong table, you're going to go out and buy a ping pong table.
What if I wanted to go out and buy a ping pong table, but instead of spending money, I was like, hey, can I have a ping pong table? And they were like, yeah, sure. And I was like, sick. And then they gave me a ping pong table. And then when they wanted to go get, like, food for their family, they went to the farmer and they're like, hey, can we get some cow? Because we want to eat some hamburger for dinner. And the farmer was like, yeah, sure. And then they had food for their table, and it didn't matter. They put all that work into making a ping pong table. They still were able to go get free food for their family, because then the farmer could go and say, oh, you know, like, I have enough cow, so we're going to have beef for dinner with his family. And then the farmer's able to say, okay, I need to go get, you know, a new hoe, and he goes to the hoe guy, and he's like,
wait, hold on, slow down. Slow down. I am not following what you're saying. You need to go slower.
Essentially.
And I don't see how this is going to work at scale.
No, it works at scale. That's my point. Like, if everyone just does things for one another, like, and then focuses on what they're good at and what they enjoy, we'll have a future of people who are constantly excited about what they're doing, innovative, and they're benefiting each other. But we run in a place of money.
Like an economy of trade?
An economy of trade, and not trade, but like just...
Because that works in like small communities of like maybe couple hundred people, where like people just trade things.
Like,
That
I
works
just
in
don't.
like very small village groups, but it
Yeah.
doesn't work with 8 billion people.
I understand why with 8 billion people, the way that we're doing it makes sense. But that doesn't mean that it's the best way. And like you
But
gotta
it's the
always
best way that we have
hypothesize.
right now.
No, nah, it's not.
Right now it
it's
is
what we
because
do,
it's
but
what
it's
we
not.
have.
But it's not the best thing we have. Like, there's definitely been people that come up with crazy ideas, and I'm sure.
For sure.
I haven't looked into it, but thinking about it is important. And like,
Because
why,
like
why
if we wanted to just like trade stuff,
is
like people need to have like a currency.
why is poverty the thing that ruins our like lives?
Poverty?
Yeah, why is it that people who are impoverished like live poor health conditioned lives? You know, why is it that a monetary value determines the health of your human body, and like that has no reflection on your skill set
I mean,
at all?
having
people
full whatever it is healthcare, it would be nice.
Well, no, it's just money is the reason why that person is unhealthy, and they could have great skills
To
and assets,
Right,
but like they don't have money, and someone who has a bunch of money and may not have the best skills and assets lives a healthy life. And it's like, I'm not saying that that's not unfair, but I'm saying that like the person who has a bunch of money probably is good at something, but maybe not focusing on it because they have money, and the person who is
or they
poor,
worked really hard.
right, and maybe they are good at it. There's variables on both sides for all of these people, and then maybe there's a poor person who is very good at something and they enjoy doing it and they would benefit others with that thing that they do, but that doesn't like, you know, there's maybe no job for it. The guy that, you know, fixes the random thing or really has like an act for solving certain types of problems, but like I think there's a world that could exist where money isn't something that is why we trade objects, but we trade objects because we're like honoring the value of the person that's trading it to us.
I think a lot of people are just stuck in a lot of shitty jobs right now.
Yeah.
You know, I don't necessarily think money is the problem. I think it's just really hard to truly pursue what you really, really, really love in life.
Because of money.
No.
No.
I don't necessarily agree with that. Because if you look at money, it serves its purpose.
Yeah.
It's you know, environment,
Right.
Political issues.
I guess what I'm saying is it's not the money.
situational. Like a currency
It's how we use
is
it.
like it's a very efficient form of doing everything in the world because it standardizes things. You can travel with it. You know, it's value. It's value that holds its value over space, and you can get things with it, right? But
Right.
I think
That's weird.
if you're talking about poverty, on the other hand, yeah, I definitely think earning wages is a problem with that. Is definitely a problem, and minimum wage is a problem. You know, but if you're also talking about happiness and, you know, people doing what they really want to do, I think there's just an abundance of crappy jobs out there, you know, in the market. And it's you know, it can be extremely difficult, you know, if you want to be a painter, you know, it's going to be difficult to make your way through to professionally do that. And if you come up in an environment that it has all of the hardships of, you know, poverty, then it's going to be hard to be happy doing what you want in a job. It's going to be hard to make, you know, a decent wage.
No.
It's going to be hard to have kids.
I suppose
It's going to be hard to do all of that. And I don't think that is necessarily attributed to just money. I think it's a societal kind of more of a societal issue. I think pointing the finger at just money and saying this is the problem
I'm saying it is a problem.
It's definitely a problem.
It's a big
and
problem.
the monetary issues that we have in this country are definitely absurd.
Yeah,
the fact that we printed 40% of all money in existence last year is absolutely absurd. Inflation rates are absolutely out of control. Gas prices absolutely out of control. Everything is an absolute storm of hell right now.
Right, and why?
But
Because
society and a lot of global economic issues.
I think we glorify money. Oh because it gives us access to things that are good, beneficial.
I think it's
because
just a necessity.
People want it. People want money. People want it. It's like this thing that we allow to let us treat each other differently with an excuse. It's weird because it's died.
I mean, I don't think everyone is like that. No.
I
don't think. I think generally a lot of people are good.
Yeah, but
it's sad the way it's definitely sad, and we are extremely, extremely privileged to be in the position that we are, and I'm humbled by that. We can't take what we have for granted at all.
I'm curious to know.
It's hard. It's hard to find solutions to these things.
Yeah.
We've been. Yeah. I mean, and that's what I think we're doing right now too, and a lot of other people in the world. It's just trying to figure out what the problems are, isolate them, figure out solutions. You know, because these things are so complex.
Yeah,
it's such and there's so many people that are involved.
I see it. I see a lot of these issues they have an answer, and it's gonna be not searching through layers or levels. It's gonna be searching through a spider web that collapses inward to a center, core. And maybe not. Maybe it actually is just a straight up web or a mesh of things that you could follow to different answers. It's just which one people find and follow. It's going to solve some of these things. But
it'll be weird to see how it all plays out. That's for damn sure. Because I think there's so many colliding, there's so many, there's always a collision of ideas going on in the world. And this is a world of narratives now where ideas are pushed to media and it hits mainstream in the blink of an eye, right? And so many ideas collide, so many perspectives collide. Extremely hard to sift through it, and to find what the real beat of the people is and where the truth lies. In the simple words, but it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, because right now
I think it's
it's the Wild West. It's we're
have a lot of money.
We're seeing
it's
just
not distributed
historical.
It's kind of what it is.
Crazy shit. I mean, the history of this stuff runs deep. It's hard to uproot hundreds and thousands of years of cultural influence and just the influence of
that volcano
high figures and stuff like that.
I could fucking do it.
I
could Pompeii the shit out of some fucking culture and some money. Yeah. Hey bitch, you got money? Pompeii ass. Sorry. All right, coming back to you. Coming back to you after a quick stop to the drink shop.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, we'll I'll throw it together, but I'll get another. What? I'll go to the bathroom too and stuff.
What do you mean throw it together?
I'll cut some stuff up.
Don't cut it if you don't want to cut it.
I mean,
if you don't want to cut it, or do you want? I mean, it's up to you. It's your podcast.
It's fine. I'll figure it out on the back end.
I was gonna grab no, I can't grab a snack. No food on the podcast after the last.
No way.
What did I have? Soup or something?
Yeah, dude. You were
slurping on some soup or something. I don't know what the fuck that was.
That was funny though. It looked like some good soup.
But yeah, I mean, it's just been a day. I've been bummed. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to chat. I'm just
Yeah,
ready to think about stuff in the light and have fun.
like a positive light.
Just have some fun, but need to take a little leak sesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some leeks in the fridge. I'm gonna make leek and potato soup with some Parmesan and some heavy whipping cream.
Oh.
Maybe some Dijon. Yeah.
Nice.
Bacon. Yeah.
Hell yeah. You gonna whip
Toss
that
in
up?
some rosemary and russet. Yeah.
Definitely.
Maybe not baby red probably.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Toss in a jerk a jock and then hot. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying.
I just finished off that chili today.
Yeah, I'm just making up recipes. That chili looked good. It smelled good.
Man. I've been hitting that chili hard lately. It's something good to.
Yeah.
It's something good to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keeps a hold over.
Yeah, we're gonna go out fishing this summer and get some fucking.
Definitely, bro.
Get some walleyes and some crappies. Really get a nice fish fry this summer. We'll just cook out.
Gotta get some bikes and a kayak, maybe.
Yeah, a kayak would be fun. Yeah. My so we got the new boat and my mom's gonna take the kayak out. So my mom and dad will take the boat to the lake and then the kayak will just be in the boat, right?
Oh yeah, that'd be sick.
And then when my dad's fishing, my mom can just hop in a kayak and just kayak around the lake and find all the little nooks and crannies and shit, because there's always big bays and stuff, and you can find cool docks and stuff, and especially in the evening, it's a nice kayaking weather. Then if you want, she can just kayak up to the boat. You hook the kayak to the side of the boat with a rope on the the tie-on spots, and then you just can carry the kayak around basically while you're fishing.
Dude, yeah.
And chilling on the boat. Or if I'm going to go fucking.
It's real fun to kind of paddle back in some calm waters.
Being out on the water is just an interesting experience. It's
right. Yeah, I can't wait for it to heat up, get out there. But all right, let's wrap it up. Or do you want to wrap it up or come back?
It's up to you.
I thought you said you were going to cook.
No, I was just joking. I'm just going to go on a drink break.
I
was completely making up that recipe of leek soup.
Oh, I thought you were dead ass serious.
No, I said I needed to take a leak pee, and then I went on leek soup rant as a joke.
I couldn't.
No. All right. That'd be really good though. Sounded like a good recipe.
Let's take just a break then.
Second. Yeah, just 1 second.
Completely thought you were serious.
No, dude, I was completely making that up. That's hilarious. I was obviously purposely thinking about a good recipe for leek soup, but leek and potato sounded good. Parmesan, basil, a little basil. Oh, that's what it needed, basil.
Yo. We still here? Hello. Sorry, folks. Little intermission, quick intermission. Ain't nothing but a thing. Jake is just out in the kitchen currently getting another drink. We are quite parched. It's a lot of talking, but we're on some good ideas. Hope you guys are taking something out of this. Or just chilling, kicking back, enjoying your morning coffee or lunch or your evening drink. Who knows? Wherever you are, hope you are tuned in and enjoying. I thought that story that Jake told about his appendix was pretty fucked, to be honest. It's a little scary. I hope my appendix doesn't rupture anytime soon. For anybody out there who's having some side issues or appendix pain, get it checked, because you could die. You coming? Yeah, hold on. We got the new setup in the office, back in the office. For anybody who's just listening, You can check out the video on YouTube as well, but got a nice spacious setup again, which is pretty chill. Picked up a new lamp today. Looks like a tree, which is kind of cool. I like it. Sorry for your ears. Just bumped that. What's up?
What up? What up? What up? What up? We're
Just
back.
chilling, talking to the people.
Checking out. What?
Just chilling, talking to the people.
All right, cool. What up, people? All right, we're back. No more bullshit. So I started a game for Paul and us, and I think it's gonna be fun. So we're gonna play a game.
What game?
It's
is
ironic
this?
because you put in names. Oh, hold on. We have a guest.
What?
We have a guest. Hey, Wes, hold on. I gotta put you on speaker.
Oh God. That's a bro.
Yeah. Hello.
You hear me?
Yeah. Hey, I'm shooting a podcast with Paul right now. Say what's up.
Oh, you're good. I was just calling to see how Carmen was doing. I heard from Dad she was at the ER.
Oh yeah. We did that. Yeah, that was last night. We talked about
Yeah,
that.
that was rough.
Yeah, it was rough. It was funny. We were talking about that. You're on the podcast, so say hi.
What up, Wes?
Who's the podcast for?
It's just Paul and I talking. It's the Book of Paul.
You guys make your own podcast?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
called
yeah.
it's called the Book of Paul. Check it out.
Check it out.
That's very cool.
We're shooting one right now. We're talking about what happened
Live
so.
on the air. Not really, but.
What happened?
Huh?
You were talking about Carmi. That's your podcast?
No, it just came up in our conversation we were having about a half hour ago.
Kind of naturally.
Yeah, we're like an hour and 15 minutes in. We took a break to go pee, but
Yeah.
Nice.
that was Coast. Did you hear Coast? Yeah, it's funny. I have you up to the mic so Paul can hear everything really clearly. We just heard Coasty Wolf.
Yeah, Kosi is slowly destroying all of our blinds one by one.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Oh, geez. Well, she's big dog.
Yeah, she likes to lay between the blinds and the sliding door.
Nice.
So,
Hey, Wes, while I got you here, Paul was talking about the guy who got hit by the car. What can you tell a little
Oh,
bit about
yeah.
that story?
The football player.
The football player.
Got
Dwayne
hit.
Haskins?
Yeah, that's who it was, Dwayne Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins.
See, Wes
He
was
got
talking about it.
hit by a damn car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, he played for Ohio State and was drafted in 2019.
Jesus.
He went. I don't know what he went overall, but he was definitely a first-round draft pick in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Who did he play for in the NFL?
Say what?
He said, who do you play for in the NFL?
He played for the Washington. Well, he played for Washington, and then he played for. Then he got switched to the Steelers.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
Yeah, that's crazy. I saw that news and I was like, Jesus, that's nuts.
No.
He must, I don't know what the heck happened, but he must have got messed up.
Yeah.
Just super sad.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's very sad.
Yeah. Oh, so I guess anybody else, this is my brother, Wes. He's my brother.
Bros.
Yeah, that's what he called me. Yeah, Wes, I'll call you back when we're done and I can tell you what happened, but she seems all good. She seems good now.
Yeah, she's chilling.
Yeah, I think she had a stroke, but
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
it was
Well,
really
hey, I got a really good vegan meal for you.
what?
Ooh.
Like a vegan meal to eat for me or for Carmi's food?
For you to eat.
Oh,
Courtney and I are going vegan.
you guys are going vegan?
Yeah, it's the only way to reduce my cholesterol and high blood pressure.
You're not gonna try like vegetarian first?
No, it's straight to vegan.
I guess you don't like dairy either, so
I don't like dairy, so pretty much only have to.
no eggs.
Damn.
No eggs.
What are you gonna eat for protein? Just beans and shit?
Yeah, beans, rice, quinoa. There's
I guess.
protein
Yeah.
in everything.
I don't know. Can you eat fish? You can't even be pescatarian.
Well, I love fish, but
What about fish? Fish is good for you, and it's got some
Eat
fats and
fish.
omega-3s. Like that is something
right now-
that can't be that bad. That can't raise your blood pressure and cholesterol, could it? It's only good for it.
it does because there is cholesterol in fish.
Fuck.
The omega-3s in salmon make it very healthy for you to eat. But for my goal right now to pretty much bring all of my levels back down to normal, I have to just go overboard for a little bit.
Huh. Oh, so it's more of like a test trial. You haven't that's cool. Yeah, go for it. That sounds
Yeah,
fun.
we're right now. We're
Yeah.
about
I guess you got to commit for
like 32 hours into it right now. I'd say.
Nice. That's cool. Stoked to
Yeah.
see your
But
progress.
we made spaghetti and meatballs tonight with some like tomato basil sauce. It was so good.
Nice. Well, hey, I'll call you back later,
All right, bye.
and I'll tell you what's up. All
Is
right.
that Wes?
Peace out. Well, that was Wes.
Little feature.
Yeah, I suppose I could have just explained who that was after. That's my brother. I didn't
Yeah.
have to say it while he was on the phone, but anyway.
Damn, he's going vegan.
What the fuck?
That sucks, bro.
That's-
He's talking about eating quinoa and
Yo,
rice and
yo.
beans, and he's getting
Yo.
protein from nothing.
Yeah.
Bro, what? That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, like, I can understand if you got like some real like kind of
Yeah.
issues going on. What are you doing?
Taking Snapchat of you.
Let's not.
Come on,
Let's not.
All right,
I can
come
understand
on.
like if you got some real like body issues going on, like digestive tract issues.
Yeah.
But like, bro, if
No,
you've already
so-
been eating like like meat and fish
You'll be
your whole life,
That'd be fine.
and like
Yeah.
like lactose intolerant is
Yeah.
one thing, but
Yeah. I mean, it's like
it's
honestly,
so good for you. Like
honestly,
protein
yeah.
from meat is like so good for you.
I just feel like personally,
Maybe does he have a high cholesterol issue?
no, it's not like. Here's the thing, in my opinion, you should people should be able to do whatever the fuck they want.
Of
to
course,
So-
of course. I'm just
Like,
I'm
if he
just
feels
ranting.
like,
I'm just
you know,
ranting.
yeah, no, I know, and this is how I feel about anybody. You know, if you feel like you want to be, like, if you want to try a vegan diet, like, go for it. If you want to try vegetarian, pescatarian, it doesn't matter. If you want to be lesbian, gay, bisexual, if you want to be a guy, a girl, you know, it doesn't really matter to me. Like, you get to choose what you want to do with your body, and you're the best person that understands yourself. You know, like, you understand yourself the best. So,
Damn right.
so like, if you know, when Les calls me and he wants to, like, he's trying, you know, they're into their vegan thing, like, I'm stoked for them. I know they're not like doing it out of spite for themselves. They they are in tune with their body, and they're trying to respond to it and try something new, and that's like great.
Right,
That's
right,
cool. I love
right.
that. So I'm excited for them, you know. Yeah, because why would I not be? It's silly.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, back to back.
I'm just saying he's missing out.
I know. Well,
He's
yeah,
missing- he's
same,
missing
right.
out.
I know.
Missing out.
All right, so Jake Paul are playing a
What
game.
is this?
Jake
What the-
Paul,
no,
Paul,
God,
Paul,
no.
and Jake.
What is
can't-
this? What? No, let's no.
Come on,
No.
come on,
No.
Jake.
What is it?
It's a game,
What is it?
Piccolo, where we just like comes up with these fun things for us to ask each other
Okay.
and
All
talk
right.
about.
Do
you
it
know?
for. Let's see it.
Yeah, we'll play it. Just
Hit
play
me
it a
with
little
it. Hit me
bit.
with
You
it.
know, let's play it. Okay. Well, it starts out with a game. If there were only to be one type of movie left on TV, would you rather it be comedians or action movies?
Comedians.
I think comedians, yeah, for sure.
Action movies
yeah.
would get too boring.
Yeah, exactly. Like Kill Tony type of shit. Like, I
Yeah.
could watch that every week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Action movies are played out, bro.
Yeah, and you get bored of them.
Like all the classics.
Comedies.
All the classics are the best.
There's so many open doors with comedy.
I've never seen it. I haven't seen like a good new action movie in
All
forever.
right, your turn. You just press on the screen. I don't know.
The player who is currently in the longest lasting serious relationship give out what's the penalty?
Oh, probably drinks or something.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, Paul's been in the longest.
you're single,
lasting-
so-
yeah, I'm single. I don't have shit. Oh shit, no. Everyone with the letter A in their last name take a penalty. I have an A in my last name. You don't. I'll take a drink. I'm curious. What's that one say?
everyone vote on who's the grumpiest player.
It's
just
Paul.
me and you,
It's
but-
Paul. Yeah, but it's Paul. I vote Paul.
This thing is acting like there's other people here, but it's just,
I know, but
it's just you and me.
I mean,
Yeah, it's definitely me.
so you get yeah.
I'm more grumpy than Jake for sure.
Yeah, you just have your moments, and my moments are like shorter and few in between, you know. But they're there.
Yeah.
We're all grumpy, but
I can constantly be grumpy for a few days in a row.
if Paul doesn't have his creamer, he will throw someone through a fucking wall. This man's like 6 a.m. driving a Quick Trip because he can't have his coffee without his creamer. I'm like, boy, you need to wake up before you go to Quick Trip. Nope, creamer it is.
No,
Priorities. Get your
I
priorities.
did that this past week.
Yeah, probably. I didn't even know. Anyway. Oh, you finally speak fucking freely again, you fucking motherfuckers. What? That doesn't make any
What?
sense. That's just Paul, if you manage to get a player to willingly accept an ice cube from you before the end of the game, they have to take a maximum penalty.
Skip.
Oh, you don't want
An ice cube?
Paul, ask Jake any question you want. They have to answer or take a maximum penalty.
Any
See?
question I want?
Whoa, that's brutal. I served
Um,
myself up that own dish. Okay. All right. What is it? And I have to answer. I think maximum penalty is finish your drink, and I'm not doing that. So, what you got?
Any question I want? Okay. That's tough.
I'm an open book, Paul. Read me.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out something like I haven't really asked you though, because I've asked you a lot of questions. We've had a lot of time to converse.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Well, here we have more time to converse. So
let's see here.
Let's see.
here.
There's bounty. Of
What do
course.
you think? What do you think is the best photograph you've ever taken in your life
Oh,
up until this
God.
point? And
I don't
and
know.
and just like don't think about it too hard.
Mm.
I want you to kind of just like first thing that kind of just pops in your head.
I took a picture of this tree when I was in high school. And it's like out in the country, and it was by this barn that was abandoned, and the abandoned barn was falling down and shit.
Wow.
And it was just out on a country highway in between Verona and Madison, Middleton area.
Okay,
And
so that's around here.
yeah,
Yeah.
just over there. But anyway, it's beautiful. The
Really?
clouds are beautiful. It's just gorgeous.
What season was it?
I want to say it was like like late spring.
Late
It was
spring.
pretty nice out, but not like there wasn't a ton of green foliage. But it was like a dead tree, it's big old dead tree. It looked kind of dead. Actually, now that I'm thinking, it had some bushes on it, but it was beautiful.
Rundown barns are super.
And
cool
the
too.
scene was like really just captivating to me, but the clouds were kind of perfect in it, and I framed it in sort of a 2/3 composition, and the top part had like a really blue sky with these nice white, like flat, streaky clouds running across it.
Oh, nice, dude.
And I edited this photo up and made like a really, really high contrast black and white image of it, and then sort of set this like just PDF or JPEG I totally ripped off of Google Images into like the background of the sky,
Okay.
and put like some stars in the sky, but like really subtle stars that only shined through like what in the new black and white image, where I
Right.
took the blue of the sky and made it almost black, but all of like the clouds were still very white. And the tree branches, I took all the greens and made the greens like very white, vibrant, like. So there's this really like beautiful energy of like
Yeah, that
white
sounds
and
dope.
black. It's a cool image. I'll find it
Hell
and show
yeah.
you. But that's like the one that popped in my mind
Hell yeah.
just immediately, I guess. It's
Dude,
just-
yeah, I love those scenes. Those
It's
kind of
cool.
rundown scenes where it's like
Yeah.
the setting is just right, the light is hitting it just right.
Right.
Everything's there, and like you just have natural composure where you kind of just walk in on something and you see it immediately,
Right.
and you know that you don't even really have to look for it because it's right in front of you.
Yeah.
Like it could just be a frame
Yeah.
that you're just walking and you look
Yeah.
to your side or you look up or you just take that extra second to look around and you see a frame and you're just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
look at that. I need to take a picture.
Yeah. So like,
that's probably it.
I feel that before we move off onto that, because I want to say something. So that location, I ended up taking some of my senior photographs, for like my senior pictures at. I had a photographer come out because I was like, you got to come to this place. It's cool. It's like this old abandoned barn. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And so we went there. And that's where I took my senior pictures. And then like a year or two later, that place just got torn down by the city. And I think the property got sold like to the farmland that was like kind of was right on it because it was just an old abandoned place. And so it's gone now. There's no more silo, no more barn, no more sub barn. Like all that shit's gone. It's just not there. It doesn't exist anymore. That tree gone, everything.
Damn.
So that's kind of neat. But back to the frame thing, like my parents just visited because my dad was coming to pick up the boat. Mm-hmm. And we were walking around from out back out front to hop in the car. But I wanted to show my mom the view from out back. And while we were walking back, I like hopped up on the bricks and was like, you got to see this. Mm-hmm. And it was like a frame, a shot, a cut. And it was that cut through that tree. It was kind of sunset. And I was explaining like that I got that cut through like these two branches looking across Lake Monona, and like the only thing in the image is like water, the shoreline, the Capitol, and some sky, and it's like this sliver through two branches, and it's like hundreds and hundreds of feet, like you know what I mean, like miles really of distance being covered and framed by like these two tree branches, and it's just viewable every day from that exact spot. You can go back every day. I could go take a tripod out there, mark the spots, and take a picture every day, and have like 100 images of
that spot.
Just that spot. So to be all these little slivers where each picture would be completely different. And, like, it's like that framing. Sometimes it's just there and you walk past them. It's like, yes, that's it. Like, you get excited about it.
That's a good idea, honestly. Going back to something like going back to a frame over the course of like however many days that you want to, and just like make a little series.
A life goal of
like
mine.
What's in it?
That's a life goal of mine to do. This specific idea I've had since high school, since I got excited in photography in middle school, is like someday when I own land and I have like a tree that is like an old oak or like weeping willow or something that's just this beautiful tree, I will find like the shot that I think would look good, and I'm going to like mark and put like staked metal in the exact same spot so that I can put a tripod in that exact same spot, and so that every shot I take will be exactly the same, but I'll go out every single day for an entire year and take images, and then I will take that image and make 365 slivers going from left to right all the way across the image.
Oh my gosh!
So it'll be like a transition of that tree and foliage throughout.
You can make it a GIF.
Yeah, it would just be like this.
You can make it a crazy looking GIF. You could make
it a GIF. My image is like these slivers, so that like as the image you look across it, you see the seasons of the entire year going like a rotation from it on January 1st where there's snow, and then the next end of December 31st there'll be like snow. So it'll be like this wrapping image. Who knows? It could be
that would be crazy.
Printed and put on a tube that perfectly wraps around to the end of it, and it could just be a continuous loop of the tree's life cycle. The GIF could be a continuous. That's
super cool. Yeah,
you have to have this like
perfect frame,
concrete structure that you're putting your camera in the same spot.
Right,
and
it would have to be exact.
Yeah, and I think
there would be
nice.
No room for error.
Hell, you could even mount the camera there forever. Like if you built a box around it, I don't care how I'll do it. I don't know how I'll do it, but it's gonna happen, and I'm gonna do that because it's just something that I'm like really excited about, and I think is gonna be just an incredible experience and end goal, and also discipline builder. Like having to actually be there to do that every day, and then maybe think about the time of day you're doing it. Like is a crucial aspect of the composition. Maybe. You can't just do it at 7 o'clock every day because for half of the year it'll be dark.
Right.
So maybe you have to pick a time that's like midday every day, which
Right.
makes a stipulation where like
Could do it in the morning.
you can't be at work, so it has to be
Mhm.
at a point in your life where like you have the time to actually give it the exact things it needs to become a composition that's like worth your time and what you are envisioning, and it takes a lot of effort to do that. And
Yeah.
so that's why I've kind of put off that idea for my whole life, because it's haven't been at that stable point
No, I feel that.
where you're able
yeah.
to really give it what it deserves as an
Right.
idea. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that?
I feel like you could do that though, like in a lot of places though.
Yeah, it
like
doesn't
you could
have to be a
honestly,
tree. Like it could be anything. It could be anything.
Well, and the only like technical difficulty with that kind of like project, and because like I feel like that's like such a good idea to like
Mhm.
to take kind of like everywhere too.
Mhm.
I like that especially I like that your idea in terms of like taking it on a piece of your land where you can
Have full
solely
control over, like-
solely focus on the setting
Mhm.
and being able to manipulate it in whichever way you want.
Mhm.
I think also a cool idea is like figuring out some way where you can solve like the technical aspect of getting that tripod in the exact same spot, but also being able to like remove it and be mobile
Mhm.
and be able to like maybe come back over the course of 6 months, like maybe like once a week or whenever you really have time to a certain frame.
So
But being able to know, I don't know, like maybe you could like take
I
a
have an
picture, like maybe like you can get that first shot and be able to outline key points around the boundaries of that first shot of the frame and be able to match every time. That'd be difficult.
well, that's
But-
what I'm saying. You'd have to have a secure device of some kind.
Right.
So maybe it has to be done that's what I'm saying. This is a big project. Like to do it right, it's a big project because you get into those questions, and I've been down those alleys, and one of the things that I thought of is like pouring a like little slab of concrete or building a slab of concrete into the ground, and then just building like a small box and just permanently securing and locking a camera in for the specific purpose of it for
Right.
that duration. And it's like just to stabilize every aspect of it. And the only thing you do is take the battery out and charge it, and then you put it back in, and then you just compile all those images, and there's software out there that can just stack images very simply. It's not a hard thing for algorithms to stack images. That's how you get star streak photos.
Right.
And like I've seen it, think it just would be nice. It'd be
Yeah,
fucking
that'd be
tight.
sick.
It'd be tight. And
That would be
like,
that's a
I don't
sick
know.
idea.
I don't know.
I love
and
it. I love it.
Having this conversation gave me this new idea of like you build a steel roller track system. Like imagine like a upside down T of negative space where like it's like a metal thin amount of open space, and then like a thing that's like on a track. And then there's like slits in the track where there's 365 slits, and one is each degree of a circle, right? 360. So,
Right.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 360 degree circle, right? So
Yep.
anyway, you do that, and like now you have this wide angle shot of a tree that's just this beautiful big like mangrove tree in like Alabama or something, and then you just follow it, and every time there's a day, and you'll have to subtract the 5 days of interval in between that, and like maybe do 2 shots in the same position. And anyway, you go around the entire tree, and like you said with a GIF, like you have them at the end this shot of like what looks like just someone like kind of slowly walking and moving around a tree, but it's like this perspective shift of like you moving around it as like the leaves fall off of it and the blossoms come, and like the snow, it's just you have this like story that isn't film, and it would be more like we talked about earlier where the detail would be in high effect because you're taking a still shot.
It's static.
But you're sort of showing the movement and life of the tree through static shots versus a compressed file of a video. you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you've done that over time. It would be time lapsey of sorts.
Well, and also like if you think about it too, doing that form of art through video would be much more data intensive and lack so much quality.
Oh yeah.
Because you would.
That's where.
Well, first of all, it completely knocks out the aspect of doing it over the course of a year because no camera battery is going to last that long, nor do we have any type of data storage that is near that.
Isn't it
like,
weird?
Possible, but
data storage. Remember?
Right.
A few pods back, people who are just binge watching the podcast will be like quick to this, but you know, data information, like the amount of information it would actually take storage wise to just like
to do that in video,
to quantify in a one person's daily experience would be astronomical.
Absolutely.
To be able to like tap into that consciousness and be like in some sort of virtual memory of someone's experience, that data file would be massive.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's like,
yeah, data storage is going to be a very, very important thing of the future.
That's crazy. But like
very,
in
very
our brains,
thing of the future.
our brains do it so elegantly, you know. It's like the way that our memory is like wired electrically, those neurons that fire where we're able to like recall memory and like create new thoughts and like vocalize a recollection of learning something or living a moment. Like somehow we're able to store that information in really nothing. Like our brain doesn't keep growing as we like forget stuff, but we're able to remember it, you know, and convince ourselves that like that's like we like the thing we remember was reality when it happened, but like we're now talking about it. And like our brains aren't these super massive computers, but the way that they like fire information around works in a way that like computers can't. Like our minds are basically quantum computers, but on another level, and we can't even understand quantum computing. So it's like the data information paradox is there. We recognize it. We don't understand it, and like we
of
also
like the mind, like the data information of the mind.
Like you know how,
and isn't it crazy how like people only use what is it, like 10% of the mind? I mean, like, obviously, a lot of that is, I think what that goes to is, like, the mind, like, we use 10% of the mind, and then, like, the other 90%, like, does all this stuff for, like, the body itself. And there's also just other parts of it that are just they must just be completely unknown, because
part of me is,
how do you study those types of things?
Part of me feels like it's not that. It's sort of like, here's a good analogy. Imagine the surface area of this table is 100%. Okay. Imagine the surface area of this table is the county of Dane County, which Madison sits in, right? And like a rain system moves through, right? And you see at 9 o'clock, there's a 20% chance of rain. Right. That means not that there's a 20% chance that the whole area, 100%, is going to get hit with rain. It means that 20% of the area is going to get hit with rain at that time. So back to the brain thing, it's like I see it as, it's not that we only use 10% of our brain. It's that we're only aware. Some people are like able to access and be consciously aware of the part of 10% of their brain that's going on at the same time. So like, and that's where like psychedelics can kind of amplify your ability to perceive and observe more percentage of what's going on in your brain and be like consciously aware of it happening. And I think that's where those pathways open, those that when people talk about, you know, like psilocybin, for example, opening gateways between parts of your brain. It's not that they're opening gateways, it's that they're being consciously aware of the fact that gateway exists, because it already exists. There's a
Right.
reason why that message is being sent. You just
Right.
become aware of the reason.
It's kind of like
you
the
acknowledge
key,
it.
like unlocking the chest.
Unlocking it, right.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, we're not going to be able to, and I don't think you really ever want to be, like, aware of 100% of the things that your brain's doing at the
Probably
time.
drive you nuts,
Yeah,
right.
I think you wouldn't be
You
able to be
overload.
aware. Yeah.
Overload.
But being able to access just like a little bit more of that and interpret it in your reality is something that's important. And I think we're all capable of it. As again, it just goes back to practice and, actively not looking for it, but not pretending like it doesn't exist. You're just like, oh shit, like that thought came out of nowhere for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
That thought of the tree came out of the nowhere for a reason. Like that pathway of that memory told my brain to put that as a priority, as a frontline thing to discuss in a conversation for a reason,
Right.
to an extent. And like that awareness
It solidifies it.
sort of makes you feel a little bit more confident and happy about that happening. It wasn't like you asked me that question and I had this negative reaction in my mind, where I thought of something and was like, no, I don't want to show that one because I don't want to talk about that one. And I think of another picture, so like
It was true.
it was a
Yeah.
sudden, instant thing, and I allowed myself to like access that deep memory and allow it to come out and explain it in depth and purity
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's information that I wouldn't say I like think about it every day, so I'm consciously like storing it. So our brains are incredible in that regard, that we're able to access. I mean, you couldn't open a folder on your computer and go back that many years and find that data file that fast. We're not at that point yet. Like our brains are so incredibly complicated, and I think neuroscience is a really cool study of field for science. Like,
it's an interesting thought too. Is like the devices that we have around us, they all, the way in that they communicate is like hardwiring, right? It's all metal hard wires and
physical
and physical hardwiring pathways that send these electrical impulses back and forth.
Yeah.
Whereas like the experience that you just shone light upon in that photograph and your idea of taking that frame over that year period, and then what you just described there, and what I was just thinking about was when you were describing that was like just you like digging deep and finding that memory,
right,
and then elaborating on it, and then that idea popped, right? And then what you did was you spoke it into reality, right?
Which someone built a new
that
memory of it.
But and then that speech communicated to me and to everyone back through the airway to me, registered in my brain through like my ears, which is
hearing
another like
audio
it's
input,
a different like I'm just like thinking of the comparisons and like the signals of technology and of animals of human beings and animals on the planet, like the way that we communicate, with that idea that just popped and you just spoke it into reality, and I just received it and I just thought about it in my brain. I received it through my ears. It went into my brain.
Right.
I transmitted it. Now I'm reflecting back on it into this message, and we're projecting it back into this technology that's producing it out into the airwaves of the internet,
information,
which is being shared with other people. It's just like it's it's all like this life that we have.
Yeah. That goes back to what we were talking about.
It's all a crazy infinite loop.
With Tess yesterday.
Yeah.
We're able to
Oh, shit.
communicate our own individual thought, and like those around us are able to listen to it, and it maybe becomes a memory in their mind. And it's like, we are one, we are all. Like there is separation, but not. It's beautiful. It's like, the sun is a cluster of, like, what is it? A cluster of hydrogen turning to helium. Is that what our sun is? Or is it helium turning to nitrogen? No. What's the third element? Lithium? No. What is it? What the fuck is the third element? I feel so stupid.
I don't know. I'm
yeah.
not sure.
So
I'm not
anyway,
sure.
well,
I'm
fusion, right. So the universe.
I know what you're saying,
the
though.
universe has been fusion. Like everything you see is like fusion reactions,
Right.
and it's like
Mhm.
it takes two, zinc elements fusing to create the next atomic like structure of element. Right. So it's like
in theory.
suns are like the vacuum of space containing a reaction of
Mhm.
it's basically like a glass, like imagine a bubble, but it's like just pushing equally on all aspects. And it's like, yeah, the dense mass of the hydrogen molecules are like creating some sort of gravity, but it's also just like the void around it pushing against and down into that. It's like trying to fill empty space, because empty space doesn't want to be filled. That's the thing. Like, you can't create empty space. Space is always filled with something, and it's like if there's avoidance of that, everything around it collapses on it faster than you can even think of. So it's just like this, because there's speed, the things that are moving that direction that quickly condense so fast that they create like these compression chambers. And what a sun is essentially like a massive explosion of atoms, like smashing into each other at a high degree of temperature, which creates this field of plasma, but something has to contain it, right? Like there's sun flares. Like when a sun flare goes off, it goes off, but then it doesn't just continue. Like it gets pulled back down into itself, and that's either it pulling itself into it or something on it pushing it into itself, containing it, like not letting it move away, which would be like a force of something containing it. And what contains, like, our atmosphere is a magnetic field, and that's where they think that there's like these magnetic forces that travel through everything and create these pockets of plasma, which are suns, and they're these little mini explosions that create elements. And that's what creates planets and rocks and everything's around us. It creates us. And like those countless endless explosions of atoms like lead to that. And so like recognizing it and feeling like it is your friend, not your enemy, because you are it and it is you, is something that I think gives you as a consciousness a place in reality and a respectful place in reality. I think if you respect a mountain as an inanimate, immense, massive power, or a butterfly as an animate, massive power in its ecosystem, like recognizing your equal part in it is what unlocks the ability to feel secure in the existence of reality. You know what I'm saying?
We're all part of this universe.
Yeah.
Everyone has their
Like,
part.
we have
Everyone
to-
has their purpose.
we have
Everything
to-
does have this purpose.
People have to
Right.
understand that.
Right.
They have
It's
to.
and it's. I mean, it's
It's
yeah.
hard,
and
but
it's
you
hard.
have
It's
to.
hard. And yeah, I think that's one of the ultimate truths. That's one of the ultimate truths of life. I think is that
I mean,
everything matters. Whether
doesn't right? It's like,
well, I mean, like you are
We're
a
here for-
part. What I'm trying to say is you are a part of everything. Like
Mhm.
you are not alone because you are the universe within yourself, and everything
cognitive
around you
existence.
is you. we are all made of the same stuff.
Yeah, it goes really deep.
Star matter.
Yeah.
You know, we all come
Yeah.
from the same
Yeah.
dark,
Yeah.
you know, nothingness that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the universe.
I,
And we're all going to go back to it,
I think
you know?
I think that we really don't understand, because the common idea of the Big Bang sort of, we all accept that it's like, oh, the Big Bang happened and everything was created out of nothing. And it's like people are all just kind of like, oh, yeah, that's what science says, you know. You know, like all matter in existence was created in an infinitely small point and exploded. Well, where did the infinitely small point exist? It's a complex question that our brains cannot understand, much like an ant can't understand the complexity of a, you know, nuclear fission or fusion, and they just
Or a roller coaster.
Right. It's just, but I'm talking, yeah, something so far beyond.
Yeah.
And it's like we're like, yeah, Big Bang, you know, and it's
Yeah.
and we're.
I think it's
weird
the
that
best
there's
explanation we have, you know?
I think it's a good explanation,
it's-
but we
it's
just
like-
stop at it. We just accept it for not really understanding it.
Well, I just think we don't have the
We can't.
technology yet to even understand it. Maybe we never will.
Yeah.
Because,
we can't.
and that's just, you know, I mean, I don't know how you could theoretically absolutely prove that. I mean,
I
is
know.
the Big Bang proven? It's just a theory. It's the Big Bang theory, right?
Nothing's ever really proven. Yeah.
I mean, that's true. It can be disproven.
Yeah. There's
Right.
there's definitely a fine line in that
And that's
theology.
like-
It's like
That's not like getting to the edge of like what we really know.
yeah.
So it's like who the hell really knows?
No, yeah, and who, you know, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it could just be a drop in an
Yeah.
ocean.
Yeah,
You know.
or a flake of dust falling off of a lampshade. You know, there's
Yeah.
anything like
Who
it just
knows?
doesn't. You don't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. But then we're back to thoughts. You see, if you're able to have conversations like this with yourself, you'll never be lonely. And I think that like is fundamentally true for all things in existence. Like no atom wants to just float around. It naturally doesn't want to float around by itself. It's drawn to other particles, right?
Mm.
The protons are drawn to the neutrons. The electrons are drawn to the mass of proton and neutron. Like, no particle wants to exist alone. No cell is a single cell organism without a way to reproduce or like continue line of existence. Therefore, like, you have all of these systematic things in place that blatantly say, hey, I don't want, like, the way of the universe is not to float around with no direction and no attraction to other entity, thought, process, physical matter. It's just, you know what I'm saying here is like the way the universe is nothing is meant to be alone. So you yourself have the capability to keep yourself occupied with everything around you and feel the love and purity that it fills you with, even without other human interaction. There's like, you know, all these billions and trillions of probably trillions of cells in my body. Like, imagine yourself as one of them. Well, now you have like a trillion friends, you know, like there's all these other cells. Like, go about your body, say you're a skin cell for a day, you know, like, and you want to go meet a heart cell. Like, think about the trip a skin cell has to go through in your body to find a heart cell.
Right.
You know, like, we are clumps of matter that are individual things creating the mass, and that recognition and realization that it's okay to love one another and like be alone but you're never really alone. You always have your subconscious, you always have your conscious thought, you always have your thoughts, you have your physical body, you have existence. So
it's important to be with yourself. It's like important
to be present.
It's important to
in reality.
Right. And I think when you are alone as well, you can really figure out like who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it opens up your mind in a different way because
Mm-hmm.
there's no boundaries, right? There's
Right.
There's no really external influence. You're just wherever you are, wherever you may be, depending on your surroundings, usually there's some quiet place you can find
Mm-hmm.
to find a little bit of peace and just sit, breathe,
Yeah.
and just be with yourself. And I think it's like very important.
Yeah.
Because
one of the
thinking like with yourself, like just like sitting and breathing and thinking with yourself and thinking about what you want to do and thinking about like just what's going on and just being there with yourself is important because
the key
you can understand more.
The key too is as they say, as Alan Watts said, your thoughts are the best. They're best as they're a good student but a bad master. Like your thoughts are something that you teach and guide. And if you let your thoughts be the master of your reality and dictate the reality and decisions of your future, it's like that can be more detrimental than beneficial. And so you should always allow yourself to know and recognize that your thoughts are things that you control, not allowing your thoughts to control you, as a master would control their, destiny of their whatever. It's interesting to think that, important. You have to always have confidence in your thoughts and in your interpretation of reality. And I think I talked about we did this one time where we touched on and talked about the sensory meditative exercise where you establish a point of being aware of your place in time in existence, where you use all five of your senses to isolate different aspects of your specific place in reality, and that centerment will help push away things that are non-necessary in your mind, and realizing that I can close my eyes and hear the sound of my voice, but I can also hear the sound of cars in the road. I can hear a static found in the back of my voice, in the back of the resonance of audio waves moving from my voice through the cord back to my ears and into my eardrums. And there's this sort of fuzzy static, even though it's I'm hearing myself think, but I can smell bacon and salt and some water, and then open my eyes and see different colors. That awareness of where you are in the present existence of time kind of helps you not forget the memories that are causing you enjoyment and harm in the past, but also sort of just resetting your mental state to being present and moving forward and not dwelling on past things that tend to hurt people and hurt yourself, or maybe you're sad about. It's finding your value and teammate response to the way your body's moving through space now,
Yeah.
currently, is something
that's
that
just-
is
yeah.
so good to
Mhm.
to focus on.
Yeah, it's mindfulness, you know. It's,
Mindfulness
it's
is
mindfulness.
that's what
It's, you know,
psychology talks about, right?
it's all about that realization and
Right.
you know, just
Right.
you know, moving through space and time and in the best way that you possibly can, and looking out for yourself, you know.
Yeah.
Just, you know, going through it's a constant,
And you'll
it's a
make
constant,
mistakes.
constant meditative process. It's
You'll make
just-
mistakes.
yeah.
We all make
Yeah.
mistakes.
Let's wrap it up though.
Nothing we do is,
It's never
it's not like we do it to hurt ourselves.
right.
We're just responding, and that's the big thing. And
Mhm.
before we wrap it up, I want people home and you and everybody to think about, like, there is a fundamental difference between reacting and responding to a event in your reality. So once you've defined and accepted your existence in present time, like, while you live your life, we have opportunities every day to either react or respond to external stimulus or stimuli, as the, whatever kind, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
external stimuli that allow us to either react or respond. And it's
Sure.
not that, like, reactions are bad. It's just that responding to events around you is better than reacting, because taking into account,
That's
and this
important,
is a term
yeah.
of definition. This is just the definition of the word and how we think about how we live our lives. So it's like, how I would describe a reaction would be you throw this glass at me. Like, pick it up, throw it at me, and I'm like, oh shit, and I dodge it, like, I reacted to you throwing the glass at me. But then what I do next also is either going to be a reaction, which could be like, damn, he's pissed off at me, I'm going to throw my glass back at him, I'm going to react and do the same thing. Or a response could be like, evaluating why you threw the glass at me, and then realizing that maybe it's not a big deal. I didn't get hurt. The glass hit the wall. It broke. We'll clean it up later. And then I sit up and just say, like, hey, why did you throw a glass at me? Like, you could have hurt me.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting there having to deal with the same reaction or response to what I've said to you. And we do it every day. It's how we have conversations. Your response is how you talk to people, and it's also body language. And so it's like, reactions are generally met with the I would refer to it as something that you don't consider all of the things, and you react in a fight or flight mode. And I would say reaction is more like fight, and reaction is more like fight, and responding would be more like flight, but you're still acknowledging what happened. You're just responding to it with a clear mind.
Right.
You're not reacting immediately based on sensorial, interpretation of the five senses. You allow those five senses to interpret then a meaning behind the thing that happened in reality, and then you allow yourself to respond. And if you say something mean to me, like, say something mean to me,
You suck.
right? Okay, exactly. So sometimes if you say you suck to somebody, someone's gonna feel like, oh wow, he's right, I suck, and they reacted to what they said. But if you're like, okay, and you kind of have the mentality of like, okay, you think I suck, but I know I don't suck. You've now responded to the situation in a better way. And I think that's a better way of living life. I think that people need to
100%.
to not react so instantly,
Right.
but we're driven to do that with,
We are.
advertising and like all of these social media apps that drive the idea of exploiting our ability to react and like all of these things and show, immediate reaction to the things around us, but we're not really responding to the person that's in the mindset to say the things that they say on Twitter, to show the things that they do on TikTok, to post the photos that they post on Instagram. Like, you might get 5,000 likes, but only 20 comments. And it's like 20 people have decided to respond to the beautiful image that you posted, and 500 people reacted to it. And it's like, that's a big statement, because, you know, it's a huge difference in the way that a whole society is approaching the situation.
Right.
And we just, it's so easy.
And that's
to
what I was
react.
thinking too. Like, I mean, the society in general is very reactionary. I mean, a lot of the things that, I mean, it's impulsionary. It's driven by impulse, right? A lot of things are driven by impulse in this world. I mean, a lot of the social media algorithms are driven by impulse.
Yeah.
And
that's why controversy reigns,
yeah, like. But I completely agree with what you were saying before about just being mindful about a situation at hand, or just literally day to day.
Aware.
You know, going through like normal things, even, you know, response over reaction is always good. It's always best. You know, being able to come into a situation,
Assess.
or, you know, being able to respond effectively and be responsible for your actions that you take, you know, to be able to look back on what you've done in life and be able to be proud of it and be able to say, I made the best decisions that I possibly could in those times.
Right.
And
That's
I'm
a good
okay
way.
with that,
That's
right?
a really
like
good,
you don't,
right?
Like
you just kind of awoke something in me to think about, because it's like the people that are truly responsible in life that you look at and you're like, that's a responsible person. They're the people that react to the things around them and make good decisions. They make decisions that are consciously aware, and like, you know, they don't allow their thoughts to stray and to succumb to compulsionary reactions.
Right.
It's
100%.
and that's, you know, like it all ties together in that mindset. And it's like, duh, you know, you're like, fuck, duh. Like it's
stuff that we all have to consistently work on through life, man. It's man, these are the big things that, you know, that are good to bring up, and are good to constantly self-review.
All right.
You know.
All right, so let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. Let me go one more each, okay?
All right, one more each.
One more each. I'll skip to a good one. Take it.
And we'll keep it quick, 1 minute, 30-second answers.
Jake, you have 3 seconds to say the exact number of people in the room. Paul. Oh, shit, that was easy. Okay, next one.
Nice.
Paul, act like a turtle for 5 seconds or take a penalty. Oh. And once you start acting like a turtle, I will start counting. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting. One.
I'm acting like a turtle.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Tell me when.
Okay, I was just.
All right, no. Go ahead. Tell me when.
All right, that's.
Tell me when. Go. You have 5 seconds.
All right, go.
All right, 1.
What?
2. 3. 3.5. 4.
I'm sticking my tongue out, acting like a turtle.
4. Do turtles stick their tongues out?
I think they do.
Okay, all right, your turn. All right, let's wrap it up. We got a minute each.
Out or something.
All
right. JK for feet are smaller than Paul's. Take a penalty.
Oh, well, they're not.
All
So,
right. Wrapped it up. Perfect. Wrapped it up.
We're wrapping it up.
Wrapping
like
it up on a high note.
Like a Kit Kat high note.
All right.
Left, right, Twix.
Peace out, brother.
Peace. Banana pie. We're gonna go have some chocolate cake with
cake.
Almond.
Let's go.
No, pecans. I always say almonds. They're pecans.
Pecans are fire. All right. Peace out.
All right.